Brian Callahan is officially the Titans head coach as of last night. So, now what's next? As you have the Bengals offensive coordinator as your head coach, what are we going to talk about? Well, what's the plan for Brian Callahan coming up right here on Titans Today by Chat Sports? I'm your host, Jay Sanders, and before we get into too much about it, if you missed it, we do have the report from Adam Schefter confirming everything that we kind of thought last night, as the Titans are finalizing that deal to make Brian Callahan their next head coach. This coming late last night, I'm going to say a surprise move. I honestly didn't expect the Titans to make the move thus quickly. I thought it would happen in the next couple weeks, but kind of surprised that it happened before the championship games. Do I like the hire? Yes. I think there's a lot of things that are positive about this, and ultimately, I want an offensive coach. That's what Callahan brings to the table. I want you to grade this hire here off the top of this show because I'm curious to see how Titans fans feel about it. I saw the comment section last night. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people were pretty excited with this hire, but let's give it a grade. Let's go A, B, C, D, or F. What are we thinking for the hire of Brian Callahan, the new head coach of the Tennessee Titans? Go down there and put it in the comments section and let me know what you're thinking about the new helm of the Titans. All right, so what's next for Tennessee? They got their head coach. They've kind of rolled on with that. That's been the news, the story for, I want to say, probably the past 2 weeks now after Mike Vrabel got fired. So now how do you go forward? How do you go about kind of forming this team around Brian Callahan and the way he wants to do it? Well, the first order of business is exactly what I talked about last night, and that is hiring his father in some capacity with the Tennessee Titans. Now, Brian Callahan right now is reportedly bringing his dad, Bill Callahan, to Tennessee with him. Bill is currently offensive line coach for the Cleveland Browns. I don't know to what capacity Bill will be in with Tennessee. I doubt it's going to be an offensive coordinator position, maybe the same way as the Browns. He may come over to be offensive line. He does have head coaching experience. His dad was the coach of the Raiders back in the early 2000s, along with Nebraska for a couple of years as well in the later part near the 2010s. Now, Bill Callahan is an offensive line guy, right? Well, this offensive line stunk last year. Let's kind of look at what exactly the comparison is. Bill Callahan's tackles last year, which were his main duty, they gave up 16 sacks last season, which spanned among 2 starters, by the way, and 3 backups because there was a lot of moving pieces on that Bengals starting offensive line. The Titans give up 34 with their tackles. That's a good start. That's a good start right there that you got to think, okay, now you have the offensive coordinator. You also get to bring in a new offensive line coach in Bill Callahan to hopefully kind of mold this offensive line. And it's very important because those were just the tackles. If you look at the stats this year, the Titans' offensive line was one of the worst in the National Football League. They were ranked 5th in the most sacks allowed in 2023 at 64, tied with the New York Jets. You have the Giants at 85, which is kind of insane to think about. 85 sacks is wild, but past that, that's kind of the outlier. You have the Commanders at 65, the Panthers at 65, then the Jets and the Titans both sitting there at 64 sacks. The reason why it's important, you have a young quarterback. You want to protect Will Levis at all costs. Because I think what this hire says is they're going all in on Levis for this year. Callahan was able to mold Joe Burrow. He was able to mold Jake Browning. And guess what? They both looked really good. I know Jake Browning only saw a little bit of time here on the field, but Joe Burrow, he's been here for as long as Callahan was back in 2019. They are able to kind of work together and make what has been a really good duo. Hopefully, Will Levis can kind of do the same thing and mold into an amazing quarterback. Almost 2,000 yards this year, but now you have Callahan, whose offense is going to be a lot different than what the Titans saw this year, but not different to Will Levis. He ran a similar offense in Kentucky to what Callahan plans to run in Tennessee and the way he ran with the Bengals. Also, a lot of throwing on first down. So be expecting a lot more passing coming from the Tennessee Titans in 2024. All right, with Callahan as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, I want you to scale your new confidence level in Will Levis. We've talked about him a lot. We know he's kind of going to be the motor of this Tennessee offense if it wants to go. It may sputter out. It'll be because of him too. We'll have to see. But you have Callahan, you have that offensive mind in order now. So scale your confidence on Will Levis this upcoming season. Scale of 1 through 10. Get in the comment section and let me know. All right, coming up, could Callahan possibly bring more than just his offensive scheme and his dad? I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean, a potential to maybe sign some people here over the next couple of weeks, all coming up right here after this. But I got to tell you about one of our amazing sponsors who has an amazing deal going on right now. Go check out Game Time. They got tickets to sports, to music, to theater events. And I'm telling you, if you want to go check out the big game in Vegas, guess what? You're going to get $100 with code VEGAS100. And I'm telling you, it's not just for that game. They got stuff all over your area. If you're going to a game in Nashville, they got stuff. But I'm telling you, right now, you're going to that big game in Vegas in a couple weeks. Go check it out. Vegas went under $100. Think about how much you could do in Vegas by saving $100. There's a lot of things. I'm telling you, it's a city that never sleeps. There's a lot of things you can go on there, and I'm already thinking of a couple things that I might go do. But anyways, you can use these tickets for anywhere. It doesn't have to be there. They have tickets to Vanderbilt basketball. You want to go check out a game just down the road. The Preds, they're still playing. Go check them out. They're having a decent season. Plus, hockey's just a fun sport to watch. And on top of which, it's not just sports. They've got music. Lainey's coming to town in Nashville in a couple weeks. If you're in the area, go check her out. She's got good seats. And plus, you use code TitansChat, you can get $20 off to any purchase. So you want $20 off, go use your code TitansChat. But if you're going to the big game, use that Vegas 100. I'm telling you, it's a deal that you can't miss. But go check them out. Game Time is super, super awesome. Now, terms apply, but all you do is just download the Game Time app, and you can use that code Vegas100 for $100 off the big game. Or if you're not going to the game, then you can use code TitansChat for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets at the lowest price guarantee. All right, what is Bill Callahan's plan? Could he bring in some Bengals free agents that liked him from the other way as Brian Callahan, Bill, his father, Brian and Bill, they're going to be a couple of B's that I'm going to mix up a lot. But hey, I like that we have them, and they could potentially bring over some pretty good talent. Now, if we look at the offensive free agents for the Bengals, let's see who stands out. Tee Higgins, I like that guy. Tyler Boyd, a little older, but still a wide receiver. And then 2 offensive linemen. I'm looking more at Jonah Williams because the tackles have been a problem this year for the Tennessee Titans. I think the big thing here is Callahan was such a big piece of the Bengals, not just offense, but franchise as a whole. People liked him. Now, if you could maybe get Tee Higgins, there could be a new wide receiver duo in Tennessee that people can't wait to watch. Now, obviously, Tee Higgins missed some time, so don't let the stats kind of freak you out here. He still had over 650 yards when he was not the wide receiver one, even though he has wide receiver one potential, and he averaged over 15 yards a catch and had 5 touchdowns over 12 games. You add him with Hopkins, you have a plethora of weapons for Mr. Will Levis. The only concern I have here is he is a free agent, so he may sign back with the Bengals, or is he want to go somewhere where he's clearly the wide receiver one? Now, DeAndre Hopkins only has 1 year left on his deal, so these two combined this upcoming next year would be super freaking awesome. But I understand with T's point, maybe he wants to go be a clear wide receiver one. He's been that guy in Cincinnati for 1 year, and then they drafted Jamar Chase, and that's been the guy since. He's been wide receiver 1.5 is the way I like to call him. Would you sign Tee Higgins, though? Because you don't have to sign him just 1 year. You can get a 4-year contract and say, hey, this year will be at DeAndre, next year, guess what? It's all you alone. Are you signing Tee Higgins in this upcoming offseason? Type S if you're signing him, or type P if you're going to pass on this one and try and find some other ways to help out the offense. He is a Tennessee kid. I will say that. His hometown, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, near Knoxville. And I'm telling you, T, he loves the state of Tennessee. Now, I can't confirm this is true, but there was a photo floating around the internet of him tweeting back in 2015, I'm going to be a Titan one day. You best believe it, or something to that knowledge. You can only scroll back to 2020 on his Twitter because this guy has 14,000 tweets. I don't know how, but he has 14,000 tweets. You can only scroll down to 2020. So I don't know if it's true, but hey, Tennessee hometown kid, bring him home. Bring him home. Now, it's not just Tee Higgins, though, because I talked about the tackles and how that's been an issue for the Tennessee Titans. So what about bringing in Jonah Williams? Now, this season, he was pretty good. Over 1,000 snaps played, only 5 penalties, and 8 sacks allowed, was ranking in the top 50 in all of the offensive line members. So he's been playing really, really well, and ultimately, he's also a little bit more of a veteran experience. And I'm just going to say it. Anybody that comes from that college, I would like to have on my team. I just think that that's just kind of a rule of thumb here. Plus, I would love to get an O-lineman. I mean, ultimately, this O-line has just been terrible all year long. And now you have a chance with Brian Callahan to try and make it to where you can come out here and play a lot better and have a different scheme, have a different mindset, have a whole different mantra to your entire season. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a good thing because I know that Callahan wants to win. And I think he fits perfectly with this entire organization and just kind of the way that he wants to go about things, which makes this offseason a lot more fun. And if you want all the offseason news, you want signings, you want trades, you want any coaching hires that Brian Callahan may make to his staff, well, we have you covered. So hit that subscribe button. Just because the offseason is here and the coaching search is over does not mean the coverage stops here on Titans Today. So go down there and hit that subscribe button. It takes a couple seconds. Plus, make sure you are with us all offseason long. We appreciate you, Titan Nation, and as always, tighten up.